So, g'day everybody. I'm super proud to be here with Nazmul Ahmed today, my great friend Naz. It's been a pleasure getting to know Naz. And Naz is a marketing expert with over 16 years experience. He's the author of a Amazon best-selling book called Build a Marketing Team. And he's also developed a system called 1 Hour a Day Marketing System for founders. So first of all, Naz, would you like to say g'day and let us know what's on your mind?
Absolutely. Good everybody. Mitch, thank you so much for inviting me to this live. I'm really excited. As a few people know, I'm new in Newcastle, and I got to know you, and through you, I got to know some amazing people. So very excited. The fact that the help that I'm getting, and that's exactly what I'm here to do as well. I'm here to help as many founders as I can. Just a quick background: I've been in marketing, branding, and sales for the last 15 years. I have been a marketing consultant for the last 6 years, and I've grown a digital marketing agency from 0 to 52 people in less than 1.5 years. So just wanted to give you a quick background so that people know who I am, and then let's dive into the actual topic.
Love it. Thanks, Naz. And we're also live on LinkedIn too. So if anyone is here, feel free to say g'day, drop a comment in the chat. It's a nice and interactive interview today, so nice and casual. But Naz, you just touched on it then, mate. You're new to Newcastle. Would you like to share a little bit about your background and, what was even your first marketing gig and what led you on this journey to be in Newcastle here today?
Yeah, absolutely. So I started as a graphic designer, and then I ended up, owning a company which was a web design company in Austin, Texas, and I ran it for 3 years and closed it down. And I kept asking myself, why did I close it down? And funny enough, I kept blaming everybody else, right? But that's what usually people do. The defense mechanism kicks in, and you start blaming everybody else. And deep down, I knew it was my fault. There were a few reasons why I closed down the company, but one of the main reasons was I wasn't getting enough customers. That's the truth. I can keep lying to myself, but that's the honest truth. I did not get enough customers. And I want to share through this live what I did with these agencies that we have, and with the other few businesses that I have, small businesses, why they become successful. And this is one of those systems that I personally try to follow. I'm not perfect. I'm just like another human being. I still fall apart. Things go wrong, but I still try to remind myself this system that helped me, and I think that will help a lot of founders.
Yeah, great. And it sounds too like a natural progression from that graphics designer, almost like being a tech, right? You're just doing a focused task to then be able to see the wider perspective and how, as a business owner, you can change your skill set to more adapt into helping your clients. So yeah, I love that you've sort of been on that natural progression, Naz. But also too, having worked with so many businesses, is there sort of one trend or one thing that you see people completely overcomplicating far too often?
That's a good question. So I think people, or us founders in general, we overcomplicate with the execution part. And we also, we're already jumping into the actual topic. I wanted to talk about this when we talk about the topic, but it's also our prioritization that is very important. I'll ask you this. I'm pretty sure, Mitch, a lot of people reach out to you, but it's you who decides who you want to speak with, who you want to spend time with. Only because in your mind, you're like, hey, these are the 3 people that are in my priority list, and no matter what, I'll just get in touch with them, right? And then there are like 10 other people who are like, hey, Mitch, can we hang out? Can we jump on a call? And you're like, I just don't have the time. So we always have the time for the things that we prioritize. And I think we can talk about getting customers. We can talk about customer acquisition. We can talk about marketing. But it's up to us to commit. It's up to us to decide, hey, my business is not going to run if I don't have clients. I have all these people. Even if I have a small team, all these people, what are they going to work on? Who are they going to serve if we don't have customers? So I think it's important for us to, one, say, hey, you know what? I have to prioritize customer acquisition. I have to prioritize, getting revenue in for the company. That would be the number one thing that I think people should be doing.
It's a great take, Naz, and I think that might shock a few people actually, because they usually talk with marketing people and it's all about the sell, right? But I can tell from your experience that for you, it's much more about creating a healthy, sustainable business. So that's why I think we really connect, because it's always that shared values. And I just love your work, Naz. So just wanted to say g'day to Freddie G in the chat. G'day, Freddie. Thanks for jumping in. Nice to be connected here, Freddie. And also too, if you have any questions, feel free to pop it in. We'll be happy to answer them.
Yeah.
And with that, Naz, we might actually jump straight into the topic, mate. Would you like to get us started and tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, absolutely. So let's talk about the problem. The problem is we're small company founders. Most of the time, obviously everybody starts with one person, like it's just always you as a founder. And then if you're lucky, you have a few clients coming in, you have good revenues coming in, and then maybe you have like 3 or 4 people, then 10, and then 15, and one day is going to be 50. But when you are very small, when you're just one person, or when you just have like 2 or 3 people working with you, you have like 2 or 3 fantastic teammates, it is very hard to, it is very hard to say, what, I should be doing this or I should be doing that. As a founder, you need to do anything and everything, especially if you're just one-man army, right? You need to work on your product, or you need to work on your service, you need to get clients, and after you get the clients, you need to serve them, right?
All the invoicing,
everything. Exactly. So we have so many things to work on that we often forget why we even started the business. Like, there is a difference between this. There's a reason why we call businesses for profit. And there's a reason why when we're trying to help somebody through an organization, that's called non-profit. So we started the business for profit, to make profit, to generate revenue. And core, if we think about generating revenue activities, marketing and sales comes in. So if you are a lot of things, you need to understand what you need to prioritize. So I went through the same thing. I was doing this, I was doing that, and I wasn't getting clients. And then I was like, hey, you know what? Let me step back and ask myself, why am I not getting clients? Do you know why I wasn't getting clients, mate?
I want to guess that maybe you were overthinking it.
Absolutely. And I wasn't executing things that will help me get clients. So we can talk about getting clients all day, but we need to actually act on it. So it's like the difference is the difference between watching a video of giving 100 push-ups and actually giving 10 push-ups, right? So when I talk with a lot of founders, early stage founders or small business founders, they say, I don't have the time. Then I ask them, is getting client your number one priority, or one of those important priorities? Will this actually help you? They're like, oh my God, obviously it will help me. Obviously I need customers. Then I'm like, because you don't have a lot of time, how about number one, obviously the first thing first, you need to commit that we need customers. Once you do that, that's when let's not overthink it. From now on, we will give only 1 hour a day. No, not overthinking, just 1 hour a day. That has to do with getting more customers. That's it. Not overcomplicating it. So I would request any busy founder, if you are thinking like, hey, customer generating, revenue generating is one of those priorities that I have on my list right now. I need to make money. Go ahead, open your calendar and book a time, 1 hour. And you will definitely get time. Again, I'm repeating myself because it's so important. So saying I have to call mom, right? If in your priority list, you will call mom. You have to pick up your kids from school. You have to pick up your kids from school. Like, we can't say, hey, that's okay, somebody else will pick up. No, it is you. You have to pick up the kids, right? So if you commit like that, like no matter what, the world can end, but I still have to work on my marketing, or my sales, or anything else that will help me generate more revenue, I'll do that within that hour. right? So that's the second most important thing that we can do. So number one, I'm just repeating myself, commit, like I'm going to commit at least 1 hour a day, Second, go ahead and book the time on your calendar. That's the second part. Now comes the nitty gritty. Now comes the detailed part. Then you can ask me, hey, Naz, I'm sold. I booked my calendar like, hey, from 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. every single day, I'm going to work on marketing. What do I do?
Yes.
The short answer is just whatever comes first to your mind. That's the short answer. And let me explain why I say it. I have a reason why I say it. So there are times when we talk with other founders. There are times when we watch YouTube videos. There are times when we go through a course or whatever, right? And we keep saying, I should be doing this. I should be posting on LinkedIn, or I should be running ads, or I should be talking to more people. I should be making sales calls, right? So when a founder has a kind of hunch, like I should be doing this, is because you have thought it through. It's because you have a lot more data. Because you have done the research inside your mind and by talking to people. So that's why I always say, like, it's not always that you have to talk with an expert to even just to get started. No, you can literally get started with the things that you think you should be doing, right? So if you're thinking, hey, you know what? I talk with enough people to know that I need to start on LinkedIn. Let's start with that. Right? We can start with whatever comes first to your mind.
Yeah, it's great, Naz. And I want to ask a question there too, because I had sort of planned on asking this towards the end, but I think it's a great
go ahead.
So what I'm understanding is that it's your belief for a founder to take responsibility of their marketing. Is that correct?
Yes.
And I think if I could play almost that devil's advocate, some people would say, but hang on, I should be, helping my clients or, doing other priorities in my business. So why should I make the 1 hour of my day to do the marketing efforts when I could possibly outsource that? And, as a founder, there's lots of different marketing teams we can go to, but I think yours is really different because I can sense that your belief is the founder should take ownership of that and really dedicate that 1 hour to marketing. So maybe if you could talk to your beliefs and why you think it's so important for the founder to have that responsibility.
Oh, absolutely. So I mentioned 1 hour a day, right? So that does not mean you are the one who needs to work on things. I'm not saying you are the one who needs to, open up Canva and design the post and upload it by yourself. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm saying let's be committed for an hour.
Yes.
Now, if you're a small business, if it's just you working by yourself, that's when you need to get your hand dirty, right? That's when you need to actually execute, right? So we can talk about outsourcing, we can talk about giving the task to anybody else all day long, but if I don't have the money to spend, let's face it, that's a reality. That's when you have to, spend the time to execute by yourself. Now, if you have little bit of money, you can give some of those things to somebody, somewhere else, right? You can outsource. You can get a VA. You can give it to a marketing agency per se, right? So you can do those things, but you still need to be committed. Now, let's talk about like if you're a founder who has some money and have a few people, and you really don't have the time to execute at all, and that's okay. Then my question is, do you have the budget? If you have the budget, let's start working with a marketing agency. Right?
I want to jump in, Naz, if that's all right. We've got a question in. I can't tell exactly who it's from. It says LinkedIn user.
Yeah.
They say some founders, speaking for myself, have zero idea around how to do marketing as it's not a core skill.
Yeah.
And I think you were just about to touch on that, where you've either got the time or the money. But did you want to respond to that question now?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a good question. If we don't know where to even start, one, I'm more than, because we don't have a lot of viewers here, I'm more than happy to work with you, whoever you are, happy to work with you and help you as much as I can. But at the same time, if a founder do not even know where to start from, my request to that founder would be, let's start by learning them, right? So, but hear me out. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying we need to learn anything and everything that has to do with marketing. Absolutely no. But the basics of it, like, that 80-20 rule. Like, what are the top 20% activities we can do for marketing that will get me 80% of the customers? And nowadays, look, let's be honest. All of us know social media works. All of us know SEO works. All of us know paid media works, right? So we can even start from one. And thank you so much for being on this live. I really appreciate the fact that you showed up on this live. Shows that you care about you getting more customers. Shows that you understand that marketing is valuable, right? So this is just the start. So my request to you, it would be, let's start by learning just a few things about marketing. Just a few things about marketing. And because you're already on LinkedIn, if you're in B2B business, you can start by by utilizing LinkedIn as well. So that I genuinely believe, Mitch, like every single one of us, like if we are founders, we need to have the basic understanding of all the departments that is required to run a business. Let that be HR, let that be accounts, then let that be marketing, let there be anything else, right? So that's where I think we should be starting.
Love it. And I think too, yeah, of course, we're all on LinkedIn, so we're all active and, playing a part.
Yeah.
Of course, to be involved and engaging with other like-minded professionals is one of the biggest ways that I learn, actually, and it's all through social learning. So yeah, I really appreciate, being able to find people in the community who perhaps know more about something than I do, and then giving them a call and just saying, I'm thinking about my marketing, for example. Yeah, jump in, Naz, go for it.
Yeah, sorry to cut you off, mate. I got excited by the idea. So I have a good answer for that as well. I have another answer for that as well. The moment you have this question, I would highly recommend for you to go to ChatGPT and ask the same question. So here's the hack that I follow. All right, I'm giving you one of the biggest hacks ever. Like that actually helped me utilizing ChatGPT or Gemini. So I go ahead and I say, hey, ChatGPT or Gemini or any of these tools out there, like, hey, I'm facing these problems. Now here's the secret. Here it comes. I'm facing these problems. Ask me questions so that you can help me solving my problem.
Yes.
Right? So if you say, hey, go ahead. So I would recommend you to go ahead and ask ChatGPT, like, hey, I'm facing problem with my business. I don't have enough customers. Ask me questions that I can answer you so that you can help me guide through the whole thing. So this is where ChatGPT or any kind of AI tools out there, they will be asking you the right questions. And if you can give them answers, I can tell you, I think 99% of the time they can give you the right direction.
Yes.
There is another hidden awesome thing with the whole bit is that when the questions that ChatGPT will be asking you, you will see that there are a few questions that you can't answer, and you're like, oh my god, I can't believe I can't answer this question. So before I jump into marketing or anything else that I want to do, so it means I need to answer these questions.
Right? What I love about ChatGPT as well is I've just released the microphone function for desktop. So before it used to only be available on your mobile, where if you had the app, you could hit the voice recorder and talk through it.
Yeah.
And now they've introduced it on desktop. So that's something I do a lot when I'm walking around the house. I'll be pacing and I'm just having a conversation with ChatGPT. You can put it on the auto voice response and you can just talk through the entire thing. So, there's ideas that pop up into my head, but they're all very, broad, very non-specific.
Yeah.
And I just give them to ChatGPT, and it's almost like qualifying my ideas.
Yeah.
Just giving them all out there, bouncing it off the response like a sounding board, and then once I've got a better concept of what I'm trying to do, it's then about talking to real people, and then seeing what I think might work and testing the demand for something before I plan the supply. I think is also a big tip as well.
That's fantastic. I mean, that's actually a really good idea. How you are utilizing ChatGPT as your as your assistant in a way, right? And I genuinely believe that overall, there are times when it can give you wrong answers, but I would say most of the times they can give us the right answers.
Love it, Naz. And you know, with this 1 hour a day marketing system, we've got the commitment now. You know, people are going to be scheduling that time in their calendar, sitting down and using that time for marketing. Do you have any other tips or any other topics that you'd like to bring up around that system?
Yeah, absolutely. So after we say, hey, here's the schedule, right? I'm going to commit for 1 hour, and here's my calendar, and it's going to be from 3 to 4 or 4 to 5 or like 10 to 11. Then you can ask yourself two different things. Yeah. What can be one thing that I can be doing every single day that will help me get a lot more clients? Is that making sales calls, right? Or is that growing my LinkedIn? Or is that shooting videos like this, right? What is that one thing that will really help me? If I keep doing it for a year, is going to change the entire game. That can be another starting point if you're thinking and asking yourself that what should I even do, right? So that's one more thing that you can think about. The other way to think about the whole thing is like, hey, what are the 5 things I need to do? So if you can come up with, and most of the time, you know, we have this FOMO, like, hey, there's so many things I could be doing.
Yeah, totally.
Just one thing. If you're one of those guys, by the way, I'm like that. I'm a huge FOMO. I keep thinking of all the 10 million things I need to do. So if you're anything like me, please feel free to ask yourself, what are the 5 things I can be doing that will help me get more clients? And add those 5 things on those 5 days on your calendar. So for example, I'll give you a tiny example. Mondays, I personally like writing. Anything that has to do with writing. So I'm talking about marketing activities or sales activities, any kind of activities that has to do with getting more customers, right? Mondays, for me personally, I love that anything that has to do with planning or writing. If I need to update my website copy, if I need to write any kind of a script, like for example, like this, right? The live that we're having, I was thinking about this yesterday. So anything that has to do with writing and using a lot of time with ChatGPT, that's when ChatGPT becomes my best friend. So I utilize Mondays in writing. For Tuesday, again, just making this up and giving you as an example, if on Tuesdays, maybe content creation is something that you want to focus on. You focus on content creation on Tuesday, right? Shooting videos like this, or designing anything that you want. And Wednesday, maybe you focus on distribution of all the things that you made, right? And last, on Thursday, maybe you get in touch with people that you want to get in touch with. So I just thought I'd give you an example of how the calendar might look like, so that you have some kind of a starting point. Which I can see we have a question on the screen. Let's do that.
No, I just wanted to say too, those finding that intentionality in your calendar is like super important. For me, you know, it's a part of my routine when I wake up to check my calendar, what am I doing today? And to know that I've got that time blocked in to do a specific task really helps me. So I actually had another question, but I thought I'd pop this up too, because it sort of is asking the same thing. And this LinkedIn user says, as a technical founder, I would not recommend asking AI to do the technical work.
Yeah.
You would not end up with usable results. I'm surprised to hear that non-technical advice seems to be more trusted. As a marketing pro, do you sometimes see AI feedback? And we've dropped a little bit. Do you sometimes see AI feedback that makes you go, yeah, nah?
So in summary, so what was the actual question? I just lost the whole thing in translation.
Yes, I mean, they're asking, how effective do you find the outputs from ChatGPT? And if it gives you a response that you go, that hasn't hit the point at all. And, you know, and seeing this person's perspective, when I ask ChatGPT technical questions,
it
sends me something back, it's like the AI is hallucinating.
Yeah.
It's like you're not anywhere close to what it should be, right? So
right.
We're talking about here different outputs from ChatGPT, but also my question from your last point was, how do you measure the success of your efforts? If you're trying to find those 5 things across your business that you should be doing for the next 12 months, how do you know which ones are effective and how do you measure those?
That's it. Yeah. So that's something we should definitely think about. When we take action, that's when we can measure.
Yes.
99%, including me, where I see we have the problem is the execution. trust me when I say, and I'm here to blame as well. Look, so once we start executing, that's when we can measure, right? So I would highly recommend for anybody to start executing. Let's just start executing, and we can measure. Now, how do we measure? When do we measure? We can definitely measure every single week, and then every quarter, and then obviously every year. I recently finished a book called 12 Weeks a Year. On that book, the author says, hey, there's no concept like, let's not think about year. There is no such thing as year, right? So we should be focusing on quarter by quarter. When it comes to reviewing, you definitely should be reviewing, or we should be reviewing every single week and every single quarter. Now, once you start executing, and that's when we will know if we're going in the right direction, because once we execute, that's when we get the feedback, either from the world or even by just looking at your own work. You're like, hey, you know what? I could make this better. I could make that better. Or the person that you're working with, or whatever you're trying to achieve, other people will tell you, hey, you could make this better or make that better, right? So in terms of measurement, in terms of where we can make things better, I think that's the easy part. Execution is the hard part. Once you execute, there will be so many ways you will get feedback. It's not even funny. The world is always there to judge you. Don't worry about it.
And for the AI responses where it sends you that stuff where you're like, yeah, nah.
Yeah, absolutely. So with the AI, what I was trying to tell everybody else is AI can be, or ChatGPT can be a really good starting point. So I'm saying if we don't have any data point, like where to even start, AI can actually help you. So far, in my experience, anything that, look, guys, I'm a non-technical guy. I'm in marketing and sales. So far, if I'm talking about the basic stuff, not advanced, right? Talking about the basic stuff, 99.99%, they have given me the right answer. It's because ChatGPT or Gemini or these AI softwares out there, they scrapped all this information from worldwide. So ChatGPT has information on most of the marketing books out there. ChatGPT has information about most of the sales books out there. So when you ask something like that, they're not giving answer based on what they think. They're kind of giving answer based on what others have already said. But by the way, guys, by all means, if you don't want to follow something, we don't have to follow. But all I'm saying is that can be a starting point. Like like Mitch, if you were to ask me right now, hey, tell me one book to start with. I actually don't have the answer, because there are a few books I need to recommend, and everybody needs to go through a few books. Now think about how long it will take to go through few books of marketing, right? It's going to take so long, you will get tired. So you probably won't even start with marketing. So I'm sorry to stretch it so much, but I think it can be a good starting point. And later you can decide by yourself, like, hey, we should keep doing it, or we should not be doing it at all.
Yeah, totally. And I think too, it's like a muscle, right? You've got to do the repetition to grow that muscle, and your judgment is only going to get better with the more execution that you do, right? So to be able to determine whether that AI response is a yeah, nah, or if it's actually a good idea, getting one step closer to your goal, comes with experience. So totally start executing and get into it. But before we wrap it up, Naz, I really love working with you because you're so enthusiastic and passionate about what you do. You always show up, you're yourself, you're authentic, genuine, you just want to help people. And I wanted to ask you one great question. What is the most rewarding part about what you do in business? Take your time.
Building something, I would say building something fantastic. I think we can look at anything and everything in any way we want, but anytime somebody asks me, like, hey, give me a good example of where marketing really helps or sales really helps. Think about let me put it this way. Think about a clinic, right? There is a clinic probably in a different suburb, and you're looking for that kind of a clinic. What would you do? You probably would Google, search on Google. If that clinic has done a good job with their marketing, with their SEO, with their website and everything else, they will show up. And you can go to the, you can find them online and you can go and get the help that you need, right? So
Yeah.
marketing is there to connect to these people. So for example, again, just just giving you as an example, you really need something very urgent at your home right now. Maybe you're very sick, like extremely sick, and you need to like order food. Where do you go? You go online, right? Who will show up? Maybe you need some soup, right? Some healthy soup. Now, if there is a business who knows how to make the fantastic soup that will really help you get energized and recover like by tomorrow, right? So the soup company can be there, that store can be there, the restaurant can be there. But if that restaurant has not done a good job with their marketing, you'll not be able to find them, right? Find each other.
And the consumer is going to get a worse product.
Yeah, absolutely. So overall, when I look at marketing or sales, I look at it in a way where I'm trying to, or we are trying to, connect those two people. One who needs the help, right? And then there's somebody else who can definitely help the other person. Marketing can connect these two people, and I think it's a great thing that we're working on.
Love it, Naz, and we might end it there, mate. What do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. You never know.
A great session, and just wanted to say thank you again so much. Shout out for one last comment. We've got Shah Paran.
Yeah.
Just said there was an interesting discussion about business marketing and ChatGPT, focusing on ways to improve your skills.
Yeah.
So I hope that's part of what we've contributed to today. It's been really enjoyable spending about half an hour here with you, Naz, and really look forward to continuing our relationship and developing more partnerships into the future. And of course, a quick plug for me and my business community. I host awesome networking events. We're on Zoom once per week, which is Wednesday nights, actually tonight, 7 p.m. We go for an hour. And then also too, we're at the Yacht Club, Newcastle Cruising Yacht Club, once per month. It's on the second Friday of each month. The next one being on May the 9th. So it's an awesome afternoon. We kick off at 1 p.m. And of course, I'll be there. We should see Naz there too. Absolutely. And I really look forward to seeing each other and continuing to build our community. It's been fantastic so far, and I'm really enjoying it. So thanks everyone for tuning in. And of course, if you've got any questions, you want to reach out to Naz, would you like to share the best place for them to contact you, Naz?
Yeah, you can find me on LinkedIn. That's the best place to get in touch with me, and so that we can connect and get to know each other more.
Love it. So please reach out to Naz, organize a meeting with him. He's a great guy. So thanks heaps, and we'll see you for the next one.